Thank you all for coming. First, I want to, I guess, apologize to those of you that have been trying to get me to say something since I was nominated on December 19th. But as I think I told most of you, during the transition, they really wanted their cabinet secretaries to focus on the, on the confirmation and the things that we had to do to get ready to be confirmed. So. And frankly, this is the first time I've been back in Peoria for about 3 weeks, so I really wanted to take the opportunity to all of you that I've known for many years and worked with to sound off a little bit on some of the things that I'm going to be working on behalf of the President and on behalf of his administration, and then I'll be happy to answer any questions. You know, I was struck by our hometown newspaper here today. When you look at the news, it's not good. I mean, and this is a reflection of what's going on in the country. There are a lot of people out of work, and there are a lot of people hurting. And that's the whole reason that I think the President is pushing so hard for his stimulus package. And when I went with the President to Capitol Hill to meet with all of the Republicans at the Republican conference, the first thing that he said was that during his transition and before he was sworn in as president, he met with as many economists as he could from around the country, both Republicans and Democrats. And they told him the same thing. If you really want to get people to work quickly, you want to bring down the unemployment numbers, and you want to put people in jobs, the best way to do it is to get money out to the states and build infrastructure. And so that's the reason that the President met with the leadership of Congress and said, hey, we need a stimulus bill that gives money to the states and allows them to fund some of the projects that they've had on the shelves for a long time and didn't have the money to fund. Roads, bridges, infrastructure. And so this is the reason that the President has really pushed this kind of an agenda. Obviously, part of the bill is tax cuts, but a good part of it is going to be for roads, bridges, infrastructure, transit, and I'm going to give you these figures. In the bill that the House passed, $30 billion for highways, $1.1 billion for rail, $12 billion for transit, and $3 billion for aviation. The lion, all of that's going to be coming through the Department of Transportation. One of the other things the President made very clear is that we're going to have a website at DOT, and on that website we will list the money that goes to each state, and then when we get projects, the projects will be listed. There'll be lots of transparency on how the money is going to be spent with no earmarks. The money goes to the secretaries of transportation, to the governors. Hopefully they take projects that they've had sitting on shelves and they begin to implement this so that in the spring, summer, and fall, lots of people are going to be working. The other thing that we're going to do at the Department of Transportation, in the next 2 weeks, we're going to convene a meeting of all the secretaries of transportation, 50 or highway administrators, or whatever the title is in each state, get them to come to Washington, talk about the program, talk about the idea of transparency, talk about the idea of spending the money in a way that reflects the values of their departments. No shortcuts. It has to be very transparent. It has to be by the book. It has to be ready to go, and it has to be done in the right way. And so we hope to convene that meeting. The White House asked us to do that, and I think it's a good idea. So lots of accountability, lots of transparency with a website that people can really have access to see how the money is going to be spent. So that's really what we've been working on. And I was privileged to be with the President when he signed one of his first executive orders on CAFE standards, that the DOT will implement the CAFE standards. Obviously, that's good news for those people that have worked on this, that the standard will be met, and the car manufacturers know that it has to be met, and so we're beginning that process to implement that. The other thing that I'm setting as a priority as the DOT Secretary is hiring the most talented FAA administrator that I can find. FAA is a very, very important part of DOT. And there's two things that have really been important that FAA really needs to get done. Number one, to settle the dispute between the administration, the FAA administration, and the controllers, the people that work in the TRACONs, the people that direct planes in and out of airports. And it's been very contentious. And for those of you that follow transportation, you know about this. The second thing is to get to having someone at the FAA that can get to the next generation technology, so that the people that are working in the TRACONs have 21st century equipment that they're using. Now, this will take several years, but we need to make a commitment to the manufacturers of the equipment and to the people that use the equipment that they're going to have state-of-the-art equipment to direct planes in and out of airports. And so that will be a priority, to find an FAA administrator. We've been interviewing people, and we hope that it's a presidential appointment. We hope to find someone as quickly as all possible. And so those are sort of the goals that we've been working on. I've been in the job exactly 1 week, and it's a very busy job. It's a very important job. I think it's one of the most important positions right now in the administration because of the stimulus part of it, and getting people to work and doing it in a way that reflects the values of the administration. So, and you know, the economic news is not good, and the picture is not very bright, and you all know that from being in a town like this. But you know, from a very parochial point of view, I think the stimulus bill will be great for Caterpillar. And I say that because when you get people out there building roads, hopefully they're going to be buying Caterpillar equipment to build those roads and bridges and other infrastructure. Caterpillar, as we all know, makes some of the best construction equipment there is in building roads. We saw it when we did the $400 million redo of Interstate 74. And so, again, from a parochial point of view, this is a win-win for this community if we can get people back to work, if we can get people building roads, and some of the equipment they'll be using is from manufactured right here in Peoria, Decatur, Joliet, or wherever. Then you know, that's a win. You know, it's a win for our community too. So that's kind of where things stand, and I'll be happy to answer any questions about this or anything else. Sean?
How much do you think this bill may change before it gets passed by the Senate and signed by the President?
Well, look, it's not the bill that was passed in the House. It will be different than the bill that's passed in the Senate. It's just the way it works. And the Senate will take up the stimulus bill next week, and there'll probably be some amendments and there'll be some changes. I think the one thing, the bar that has been set the highest by the President is he wants to stay away from these earmarked dollars. There's been so much controversy about them, and we know that every state has projects that are sitting that are ready. They've met all the criteria, and so it's not as if, you know, we're going to have to be begging people for projects. And so I think the bill that passed the House will be different than the one that passes the Senate, and then we'll go to a conference committee, and the conference committee will ultimately decide the bill that will go back to the House and Senate for another bill, for another vote.